So in this video, we're going to give you the 10 wealthiest cities in the state of Michigan. Hello and welcome. In this video, we want to give you a rundown of the 10 most wealthy cities throughout the state of Michigan. My name is Matt Talbot. My team and I help people just like you every single day move here to Michigan, and we absolutely live for it. We get calls, texts, and emails all the time of people that want to move here. Actually, we've gotten a handful this week alone. People ready to move today, and some people that are thinking 6 to 12 months down the road that are ready to move here to Michigan, and we absolutely love helping those people out. If that's you, comment below or fill out our Calendly link to set up a Zoom call today with myself or someone on my team to make sure that we're learning more about your situation. So, Michigan, wealthy cities, rich cities, areas to note. If that's something that's important to you, we want to run through the 10 wealthiest cities here in Michigan to give you an understanding of some of the different pockets of these wealthy areas throughout the state. So we'll dive right into that. So we're sourcing a specific article here, and this is propertyclub.com, a very specific article. So we want to make sure to list the sources because depending on data sources, that can switch up a little bit. However, I want to talk about these 10 cities on this list and dive a little bit deeper from a local's perspective. Not only am I local here to Southeast Michigan, but I've done a lot of traveling throughout the state, and I definitely have a decent understanding of a lot of these cities. So coming in at number 10 is Traverse City, Michigan. One of my favorite cities in the entire state, without a doubt. The article sources Traverse City is the richest city in northern Michigan. The area's local hub for bustling commerce, entertaining nightlife, and outdoor recreation. The city center is full of local farm-to-table restaurants, bookstores, and bars. Attractions in the city and surrounding areas include several annual festivals, golf courses, wineries, hard cider distilleries, and lakeside getaways. Per capita income, this community is lower than the other areas on the list, and its high average home prices may make the city wealthy. So, Traverse City, population 16,000, per capita income 41,000, average home price 438,000 compared to this article. So Traverse City, Michigan, on the west side of the state. This is like Michigan. You're going to drive up about 2/3 up the lower peninsula. Here is going to be Traverse City. It is on Lake Michigan itself. It's actually on the Grand Traverse Bay. So down the west coast of Michigan, there's all these bays and straits that kind of go in and out. And basically, I don't know if it's I think it's from the glaciers back in the day, and how the geography has changed through the years. But there's a lot of these inlands and straits and stuff all the way up and down the west coast of Michigan, and it's absolutely gorgeous. So Traverse City, very, very affluent, wealthy area. It's known for the Cherry Festival every year, great cherries, and it's also very well known for its wineries and a lot of other things happening in that part of the state. So it's one of the biggest cities and definitely one of the most wealthy cities in the Upper Peninsula and upper lower peninsula, basically up north. Is one of the most wealthy cities up north, if I'm trying to say that properly. And beautiful city, decent downtown area, lots of shoppings, lots of different things to do, tons of wineries as well. So a lot of people are flying to Traverse City from all over the world. They're flying to Michigan, driving up to Traverse City, and it's beautiful wine country for that reason. So I think Traverse City is actually one of the most underrated places in the entire country, at least from my travels, because it's so gorgeous, it's so nice, and it is populated, and it is a destination. I just think people in other states don't always know this, so don't tell them. Let's keep it nice and private for us. So one of the reasons why I believe Traverse City is one of the wealthiest cities is for really two main reasons. One is probably number one on the list is tourism. It just happens to be that bigger city in that part of the state that has a lot of tourism coming there. So there's some other local big cities as well too. There's Petoskey and a lot, Charlevoix and some other nice, beautiful downtown areas. I think Traverse City is the biggest city out of all of them. So because of that, I think there's a lot of wealth because of that tourism there. Number one, because of tourism. Number two, because the size of itself really kind of helps it being a gathering point for business and for an economy to actually sustain and stuff like that in that part of the state. So Traverse City, very, very wealthy area, but I think it is really due to a lot of the attractions that are there, a lot of the tourism. Sleeping Bear Dunes is another example that comes to mind. Beautiful tourism, awesome part of the state, totally worth checking out in a very, very affluent area in that part of Michigan. Up next on our list, number 9 is Novi, Michigan. From people moving from out of town otherwise known as Novi. No, just kidding. I have so many people that want to move to Michigan. They say, hey, we're looking at Novi. No offense to those people. It's Novi, Michigan. It's how we pronounce it. We have a lot of weird ways of pronouncing things here in Michigan, and I think it just in general in the northern part of the country. Again, sourcing the article, Novi is a wealthy Michigan city that is home to nearly 67,000 residents. The city's main local attraction is Mayberry State Park, so a really big state park in Novi. Where Novi is, just so you know, it is a suburb of Detroit, so you're really only about 35-40 minutes west, about northwest of Detroit, and so it is still a city here in Southeast Michigan, a very local city here in Southeast Michigan, but it has Mayberry State Park and has some good nature walking trails and stuff like that as well too, so you get the best of both worlds. I think Mayberry is technically Northville, Novi border, but you get the idea. It's that general pocket. Other interest in Novi, holding some of the highest per capita income rates and the highest home prices in the state. Novi is sure to impress those who prefer a wealthy area in a laid-back atmosphere. Population 66,000, per capita income 56,000, average home price 447,475 according to this article. So again, a lot of homes in Novi really are that 400,000 to 2 million price point. So there's a lot of really nice, beautiful houses, a lot of good reasons to move to Novi. It's a very affluent area, good schools there, beautiful landscape, and you're still, like I said, only about 30 to 40 minutes to Detroit, and only about 20-30 minutes to Ann Arbor as well too. So very central location for a lot of different reasons, which is one of the reasons why it's so sought out and so expensive. Number 8 on our list of property clubs list here is Plymouth, Michigan. So we do a lot of videos and we source a lot of these cities. So if you guys want to deep dive into some of these cities specifically, definitely check them out. Plymouth and Novi are definitely two cities we talk about, and we refer to Traverse City quite a bit in our moving to Michigan videos as well too. But up next on our list is Plymouth, Michigan. So Plymouth is exactly between Ann Arbor and Detroit. It's on the 275 corridor and close to M14, which takes you from Plymouth to Ann Arbor. Okay, so really good central location is one of the reasons why it's so sought out, and it's an old town, dates back to the early 1800s, has been around for a very, very long time, and so it's established sort of small town vibe that has really sort of gathered through the years and expanded through the years. Right downtown, you have Kellogg Park and bars and restaurants and all that great stuff, tons of videos as far as Plymouth, and it is a gathering place not only for Plymouth City, Plymouth Township, but also a lot of the surrounding communities as well too. Livonia, Canton, Northville, all sorts of people from all over the place kind of come to Plymouth for a lot of different reasons, and it is a very, very affluent area for that reason. Home prices in downtown Plymouth are over $400,000 these days, and there's a lot of reasons for that. There's lots of events and parks, the Fall Festival, the Ice Festival. We have tons of videos on this stuff in Plymouth and some of the surrounding communities as well too. However, it is number 8 on our list here according to this article. Number 7 on our list here of wealthiest cities here in Michigan is West Bloomfield, Michigan. So different than a Plymouth or a Novi for sure. You're getting a little bit more north, and you're getting a little bit more, not rural, but West Bloomfield's really kind of well known for a lot of its lakes, okay? So still a suburb of Detroit, easy to get to Ann Arbor, easy to get to downtown. You're within 45 to an hour of a lot of the big cities here in Southeast Michigan. However, there's a lot more lakes and a lot more beautiful landscaping out there. So when I mean landscaping, a lot of more beautiful land out there is what I should say. So lots of big trees and forests and big subdivisions as well too. Very affluent area, very wealthy area here in Michigan. According to the article, West Bloomfield, $417,000 for the average home price, $59,000 per capita income. So moving up on the list is to West Bloomfield. Great area, very sought out for a lot of reasons. There's lots of private country clubs as well too in West Bloomfield, Michigan, and that's why it's one, not just because of the country clubs, but that's why it's such a sought out area of lakes and country clubs and a lot of different things happening in West Bloomfield. It makes it a very expensive area to live and a very expensive area to be. However, it's a beautiful area without a doubt. Coming in at number 6 on our list of richest cities in Michigan is East Grand Rapids. So one thing I want to clarify, when we're talking about per capita, that's the total income divided by the total amount of citizens. So that means adults, children, teenagers, everyone in between. And so I don't know a lot of 5-year-olds or 10-year-olds that are working to generate income. So when you talk about per capita, that means the income is divided out, including the kids and children, okay? So East Grand Rapids, according to the article, East Grand Rapids is another one of Michigan's richest cities, located only a few miles from downtown Grand Rapids. The city has appeared on several of America's best places to live lists over the years. It is home to roughly 12,000 people who prefer the area for its beautiful, maintained homes, business district, and wealth of local shops, eateries, and entertainment. The area is also home to several parks and green spaces, which includes Johns Collins Park, Reed's Lake, as well as their surrounding walking trails. Home prices in the area sit at an average of $604,000, and per capita income is $67,000, making it a wealthy area with much to offer. So I lived in Grand Rapids for a while. East Grand Rapids is awesome, very, very sought out. Grand Rapids, Michigan, for those of you who don't know, are very close to Lake Michigan on the west side of the state. It's really about 2.5 hours to 3 hours from Detroit, about 2 to 2.5 hours depending on where you're at, and for most of Southeast Michigan to Grand Rapids, so not terribly far from Southeast Michigan, and only about an hour and a half from Lansing, the middle of the state. So Grand Rapids has its own economy. It's a big downtown area, lots of things happening. Back in the day, it was actually known for its furniture, was the number one furniture city in the country, so they made more furniture in Grand Rapids back in the day. It's now known for breweries and a lot of tech innovation and great healthcare system and stuff like that as well too. So Grand Rapids is a great area, and East Grand Rapids specifically is what the article sources as far as wealthiest cities in the state. Number 5 on our list of richest cities in Michigan is Huntington Woods. So Huntington Woods is actually a very small area, and I think it's one of the reasons why it helps with the per capita, only 2,400 residents with 1.49 square miles. It's a smaller place, and they call it a city of homes because it's just basically, Huntington Woods is basically all just houses. Great area, beautiful houses, a lot of old school houses, more older traditional homes in Huntington Woods. I love that area. It's a great part of town without a doubt. Per capita income $70,000, average home price $461. So Huntington Woods is on the Woodward corridor, which we talk quite a bit about on this channel, and that really is down Woodward, which you take from Detroit all the way through really Bloomfield Hills, and there's a lot of different cities down the Woodward corridor, and Huntington Woods is one of the more affluent ones in that area. However, there's a lot of other beautiful surrounding areas. Love Ferndale, love Royal Oak, love Birmingham, Berkeley. They're all great areas down the Woodward corridor in that part of town, but Huntington Woods is one of the most affluent, one of the most wealthiest without a doubt. Great areas, cool old homes. There's not like a lot of like downtown things or a million different things to do there, but there's very, very nice homes, and the surrounding communities have lots of things happening or things to do in that general area of the Woodward corridor. Up next of wealthiest cities in Michigan, coming in at number 4 on our list is Northville, Michigan. Also one of my favorite cities here in Michigan, definitely in Southeast Michigan, and that's Northville. Northville is another cool old town. It's been around for a very long time. There's been lots of development since the 1800s in Northville, and has that cool downtown, old school, small town feel, okay? There's the clock tower in town, lots of old buildings right in downtown Northville, and it is an expensive, very nice place to live, okay? So it is one of the most wealthy, according to article number 4 of most wealthy cities in the state. Average home price well over $500,000 in the 550s. The city itself is only 6,000 residents. So when we're referring to Northville, we're referring to the city itself comparatively, right? You have the city and the township, which I talk about pretty heavily in a lot of our videos here. However, Northville is definitely up there when it comes to wealthiest cities in Michigan. Per capita income over $70,000, like I said, average home price is under $550 according to this article. Northville, cool downtown area, about 35 minutes to Detroit, about 35 minutes to Ann Arbor. You're right on the 275 corridor. You can easily get up to Lansing. You can go east, and you can easily send it over to Royal Oak, Woodward corridor, Troy, Rochester Hills. Not terribly far, probably only about 40 minutes or 35 minutes from Northville itself. So very central location, one of the most wealthy, affluent areas in the state. Beautiful real estate, fantastic schools. We have tons of videos on Northville on this channel if you're interested in learning more. Coming in at number 3 on our list of the wealthiest cities here in Michigan is Beverly Hills, Michigan. Beverly Hills. That's where I want to be. If you know that song, I'm sorry, I'm a horrible singer, but I can't skip this I can't do this section without talking about that song. Okay, so Beverly Hills, Michigan, beautiful area. Definitely a very central location as far as Southeast Michigan and in Metro Detroit. It is a suburb of Detroit. Beverly Hills, population 11,000, average per capita income 72,000, average home price just over 500,000. So Beverly Hills is a smaller area in Southeast Michigan. It's not far from Birmingham, Michigan. It's not far from Franklin, Michigan, and it's actually not crazy far from like West Bloomfield and really the Woodward corridor as well too. If you go a little bit east, you're right on Woodward in no time, which has a lot of different great cities, restaurants, shopping, all that great stuff. So central location. For the most part, there is some downtown type feel in Beverly Hills, but for the most part, it's mostly just nice homes in that area. Very, very affluent place to live. It's absolute gorgeous landscape and absolute beautiful, kind of just very developed areas. Okay, so a lot of older homes there, big trees, country clubs, walking trails, all that good stuff in Beverly Hills. It's a great area and a very wealthy area here in Southeast Michigan. Coming in at number 2 on our list of wealthiest places here in Michigan, and that is Grosse Pointe, Michigan. So Grosse Pointe is a cool area because it's different than some of the others that we've talked about. For the most part, a lot of the cities we've talked about has been here in Southeast Michigan. There are some other areas like East Grand Rapids and Traverse City and stuff like that. However, Grosse Pointe is the most east side of Southeast Michigan here. So it is actually just east of Detroit. So it's sort of like not on its island, just it's like the only suburb really on that side of Detroit and that area on the river there. So it's a very, very unique area for a lot of different reasons. I'm going to source this article, which can sometimes state it a little bit better than me. However, of course, I'll give you my opinion on that. Grosse Pointe Farms is also one of the richest cities in Michigan. There are 5 Grosse Pointes within Detroit, each of them sitting adjacent to one another. Grosse Pointe Farms in particular sits in the middle of the microplex and is a popular choice among young families. Residents of this affluent area are well educated and typically move here for its quick commute to downtown, historic architecture, and waterfront views. Average prices in the area are around $478,000, while the city's per capita income is close to $81,000. This makes Grosse Pointe Farms an affluent area with excellent home buying potential. So Grosse Pointe, you have Grosse Pointe Woods, you have Grosse Pointe, you have Grosse Pointe Farms. So this is specifically Grosse Pointe Farms in that part of town. What I love about Grosse Pointe is a few things. Of course, it being a wealthy area makes it a nice area without a doubt. But that being said, I really, really like Grosse Pointe because it's kept a lot of its history. So when you drive through Grosse Pointe, you go through a lot of these subdivisions, it's almost like a blast from the past. These homes have been very maintained for a very, very long time, which you get in some Detroit neighborhoods, but not in droves like you do in Grosse Pointe. And so what I really, really like about Grosse Pointe is it really has that old school vibe without a doubt. The homes are beautiful, really cool old architecture, and you're right on the water. So Lake St. Clair goes through there, and then you're right on the Detroit River and parts of Grosse Pointe as well too. So it is it's really Lake St. Clair, but it's really just a beautiful pocket of land all the way around the river there. Lots of cool things happening downtown, lots of shopping and good restaurants, and that's why it is number 2 on this article's list of wealthiest cities here in Michigan. So last but not least, and before I jump into that, make sure you tap for notification, hit subscribe if this video provided any value to you. If you want more videos like this, if you want a deep dive, if there's anything else you're looking for, if you're thinking about moving to the area, you want more information on, or if you live in the area, or you want to know what it's like to live in the area, what have you, let us know. We're happy to get you all that information. So last but not least, again, propertyclub.com's list here. Number 1 on their list is Birmingham, Michigan. Per capita income $95,000, average home prices over $650, and 22,000 residents, puts Birmingham as the richest city, the most wealthy city in 2023, according to this article. So several times in this video, we mentioned the Woodward corridor. Birmingham is on the Woodward corridor. It is about 25-30 minutes north of Detroit, so you can actually take Woodward if you want all the way to Birmingham, or you can take the express expressways and cut around as well too. Fantastic downtown location, unbelievable restaurants, tons of shopping, lots of things happening in Birmingham. So in a lot of ways, you do pay for what you get in a town like Birmingham. It's very, very sought out. A lot of people really enjoy the real estate. There's some older homes. There's a lot of new construction homes throughout Birmingham. Downtown has some really high-end condos as well too. You're 30 minutes to Detroit. You're only a couple minutes to be able to head up north, get on 75 and shoot up north. So it's a very good location for a lot of different reasons. A very, very wealthy area, which makes it a very expensive area. However, that also makes it a very sought out area. So that does it for the 10 wealthiest cities here in Michigan. Hopefully this video taught you a little bit more about Michigan, let you know a little bit more about the area, some of the areas to consider. And if you're looking for one of the more wealthy parts of town, you can definitely dive in deeper to this video to understand what that looks like. My name is Matt Talbot. My team and I help people just like you every single day move here to Michigan, and we absolutely live for it. If you're thinking about moving, give us a call.